The Secret Series. The name of this book is Secret, by pseudonymous Bosch. Warning, do not read beyond this page. Good. Now I know I can trust you. You're curious, you're brave, and you're not afraid to lead a life of crime. But let's get something straight. If, despite my warning, you insist on reading this book, you can't hold me responsible for the consequences. And, make no bones about it, this is a very dangerous book. No, it won't blow up in your face, or bite your head off, or tear you limb from limb. It probably won't injure you at all, unless somebody throws it at you, which is a possibility that should never be discounted. Generally speaking, books don't cause much harm, except when you read them, that is. Then, they cause all kinds of problems. Books can, for example, give you ideas. I don't know if you've ever had an idea before, but if you have, you know how much trouble an idea can get you into. Books can also provoke emotions, and emotions sometimes are even more troublesome than ideas. Emotions have led people to do all sorts of things they later regret, like, throwing a book at someone else. But the main reason this book is so dangerous is that it concerns a secret. A big secret. It's funny the way secrets work. If you don't know about a secret, it doesn't bother you. You go about your business without a care in the world. La la la, you sing. Everything's fine and dandy. Maybe you don't actually sing la la la, but you know what I mean. But as soon as you hear about a secret, it starts to nag at you. What is this secret, you wonder? Why am I not supposed to know about it? Why is it so important? Suddenly, you're dying to know what the secret is. You beg, you plead, you threaten, you cajole. You promise never to tell anyone else. You try anything and everything. You dig into the secret keeper's belongings. You pull his or her hair. And when that doesn't work, you pull your own. Not knowing a secret is just about the worst thing in the world. No, I can think of one thing worse. Knowing a secret. Read on, if you must. But remember, I warned you. Chapter 1. XXX. XXX, XXX. XXXXX, XXXXX, XXX. XXX, XXX, XXXXXXX. XXX, XX, XXX, XXXX. XXXXX. 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 XXXXXXXXX. XXXXXXXXXX. Chapter 1.5. Apologia. An apologia, if you're wondering, is not a variety of insect. Neither is it a type of cancerous tumor. It's an apology. In other words, it's not worth the paper it's written on. I'm sorry I couldn't let you read Chapter 1. That was where you would have learned the names of the characters in this story. You also would have learned where it takes place, and when. You would have learned all the things you usually learn at the beginning of a book. Unfortunately, I can't tell you any of those things. Yes, this is a story about a secret, but it's also a secret story. I shouldn't even be telling you that I shouldn't be telling you the story. That's how much of a secret it is. Not only can't I tell you the names of the people involved, I can't even tell you what they've done or why. I can't tell you what kind of pets they have, or how many annoying little brothers, or how many bossy big sisters, or whether they like their ice cream plain or with mix-ins. I can't tell you about their schools, or their friends, or their favorite television shows, or if they ride skateboards, or if they are champion chess players, or if they compete in fencing competitions, or even if they wear braces. In short, I can't tell you anything that would help you identify the people involved in the story if you were to meet them at your orthodontist's office. Teeth, as you may know from watching television, are very useful when detectives are identifying cadavers. This is for your own protection as well as mine, and for the protection of your friends, and even of your enemies. You know, those ones you say you want to kill, but in the end you'd rather keep alive. Still, you must find my silence very frustrating. How can you follow a story if you don't know whom it's about? Somebody has got to be getting lost in the woods, or slaying dragons, or traveling in time, whatever it is that happens in the story. I'll tell you what. I'll make you a deal. To help you follow my story, I'm going to break my own rule already, and I'm going to give my characters names and faces. But remember, these aren't their real names and faces. They're more like code names or cover identities, like a spy or a criminal would have. If you don't like the name I chose, change it. If I write Tim loved to pick his nose, and you prefer the name Tom to Tim, then read the line as Tom loved to pick his nose. I won't take offense. You can do that with all the names in this book if you like. Or keep my names. It's up to you. Now, just as it's hard to read a story without knowing whom the story's about, it's also hard to read a story without knowing where the story takes place. Even if you were reading about extraterrestrials from another dimension, you'd want to imagine something about their surroundings, like that they live in a murky green miasma, or in some place really hot. Although the real location of this story will have to remain a mystery, to make it easier for all of us, why don't we just say the story takes place in a place you know very well. We'll call it your hometown. When you read about the town the characters live in, just think of the town you live in. Is the town big or little, by the sea or by a lake? Or is your town all asphalt and shopping malls? You tell me. When you read about the character's school, think of your school. Is it an old one-room schoolhouse or in a bunch of double-wide mobile homes? You decide. When they go home, imagine they live on your street, maybe even a house right across from yours. Who knows, maybe your street is where the story really takes place. I wouldn't tell you if it was, but I couldn't tell you for certain that it's not. In return for all the freedom I'm giving you, I ask only one favor. If I ever slip and reveal something that I shouldn't, and I will, please forget what I've said as soon as possible. In fact, when you're reading this book, it's a good idea to forget everything you read as soon as you read it. If you're one of those people who can read with their eyes closed, I urge you to do so. And if you're blind and reading this in Braille, keep your hands off the page. Why do I write under such awful circumstances? Wouldn't it be better to scrap this book altogether and do something else? Oh, I could give you all kinds of reasons. I couldn't tell you what I write in this book, so you will learn from all the mistakes of others. I can tell you that, as dangerous as writing this book is, it would be even more dangerous not to write it. But the real reason is nothing so glorious. It's very simple. I can't keep a secret. Never could. I hope you have better luck. Chapter 2. A Wednesday. True, I cannot tell you the year the story begins, or even the month, but I see no harm in telling you the day. It was a Wednesday. A humble, unremarkable day. The middle child in the weekday family. A Wednesday has to work hard to be noticed. Most people let each one pass without comment, but not the heroine of our story. She is the kind of girl who notices things that others don't. Meet Cassandra. Wednesday is her favorite day. She believes it's just when you least expect something earth-shattering to happen that it does. According to Greek myth, the original Cassandra was a princess of ancient Troy. She was very beautiful, and Apollo, god of the sun, fell in love with her. When she rejected him, Apollo became so angry he placed a curse on her. It gave her the power to predict the future, but he also ensured that nobody would believe her predictions. Imagine knowing that your whole world was about to be destroyed by a tornado or typhoon, and then having nobody believe you when they told them. What misery! Until the Cassandra of myth, the girl who figures in our story, is not a prophet. She cannot see into the future, nor has she been cursed by a god, at least not to my knowledge. But she resembles a prophet in that she is always predicting disaster, earthquakes, hurricanes, plagues. She is an expert in all things terrible, and she sees evidence of them everywhere. That's why I am calling her Cassandra, or Cass for short. As you know, I cannot describe Cass in detail, but this much I will tell you. From the outside, Cass looks like a typical 11-year-old. Her major distinguishing feature is that she has rather large, pointy ears. And before you tell me that I shouldn't have told you about the ears, let me explain that she almost always covers her ears with her hair or with a hat. So chances are, you will never see them. While she may look like other girls, Cass is in other respects a very unaverage sort of person. She doesn't play games involving fortune-telling or jump rope or strings of any kind. She doesn't even watch television very often. She doesn't own a single pair of soft suede boots lined with fleece. She wouldn't even want a pair unless they were waterproof and could protect her in a snowstorm. As you can tell, Cass is very practical. She has no time for trivial matters. Her motto, be prepared. Her mission, to make sure that she and her friends and family survive all the disasters that befall them. Cass is a survivalist. These are things Cass carries in her backpack every day. Flashlight, compass, silver Mylar space blanket, surprisingly warm if you haven't tried one, also has useful reflective properties. Box of juice, usually grape, doubles as ink in a pinch. Bubblegum, for its sticking value and because chewing helps her concentrate. Cass's patented Super Chip trail mix. Chocolate chips, peanut butter chips, banana chips, potato chips, and no raisins, ever. Topographic maps of all the coolest desert and mountain areas, as well as of Micronesia and the Galapagos Islands. Rope, toolkit, first aid kit, dust mask, extra pair of socks and shoes, in case of flash floods and other wet conditions. Matches, technically not allowed at school. plastic knife, because a jackknife is really not allowed, school books and homework. When she remembers, which is not very often, she keeps forgetting to put schoolwork on her supplies checklist. On the evidence of the items in her backpack, you might guess that Cass has led a very adventurous life. But you would be wrong. The truth is, up until the time this story begins, none of the disasters she predicted had befallen her. There had been no earthquakes at school, none strong enough to shatter a window anyway. The mildew in her mother's shower turned out to be just that, not the killer mold Cass predicted. And that child spinning around on the grass did not have mad cow disease. He was just having a good time. Cass didn't exactly mind that her predictions hadn't come true. After all, she didn't wish for disaster, but she couldn't help wishing people took her concerns more seriously. Instead, everyone was always reminding her about the boy who cried wolf. Naturally, they took that story to mean the boy shouldn't have cried wolf when there weren't any. But Cass knew the true moral of the story, that the boy was right, there really were wolves around, and they'd get you in the end if you didn't watch out. Better to cry wolf over and over than to never cry wolf at all. End of part 1.